So minutes of sheer pleasure, and I'm going to get off the stage. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Eric. Give us 1 minute just to check sound and tuning, please, and we sure appreciate you coming tonight.
Oh, it was, I knew 2 guys for sure, but it was one circle.
Hey, thanks so much for coming, those of you who are here, and those of you who are metaphysically here. We appreciate you all coming out. I'm Mike Zilber, and this is John Stowell, and I realize that John and I have actually played together for almost 20 years now, which is wild to me. Since I'm only 31, it's wild to me. I don't know how that happened. But anyway, we actually heard each other. We were both featured at the San Jose Jazz Festival back in 2005, one right after the other. And I heard John and thought he sounded beautiful, and we said, hey, let's do some playing, and we have done. We've made 3 records together. We played in a quartet around here for a long time with the great John Shiflett and Jason Lewis, put out 3 records on Origin. We played a bunch of other places, including Seattle and Vancouver and New York and Philadelphia, and most importantly in Bakersfield. No, I'm kidding about Bakersfield. Nothing wrong with Bakersfield. Anyway, but we played some places, and we started playing duo together, and we enjoy that a lot too. And like Eric said, since I'm down in Los Angeles now, and John is up in Portland and traversing around, we don't get to play too much together, so we really enjoy it. And it was funny, we just ran a few tunes before we started. Earlier today, just looking at a few things, and we played half a chorus, and John said it's like we never stopped, so it's kind of cool. So we're going to continue the conversation. We're going to start off with a tune that we've enjoyed playing a lot. This is Jerome Kern's Nobody Else But Me, which was the last tune he ever wrote.
So Jerome Kern wrote the jazz footnote here, wrote the music for Showboat in the 20s. They did a revival in the 40s, and he wrote this tune for the revival, and it's his last song. And we think it's pretty great. We've recorded it too, Nobody Else But Me.
That DI in, please.
Try that. Getting it now?
There we go.
Okay.
Do you need me to blow notice of the microphone or not?
I think we're good. I'll get you.
Okay.
It's been a long day. Jump in and I'll be right there with you. exactly the way we rehearsed it.
You missed a note on measure 16.
Probably lots of musicians in the house. Did you all catch that modulation? It's the only standard I know that goes down a half step, 5 bars in. Did you catch that? It goes down to B major, guys. And thankfully, Mike could play in B major. You have to pay attention when you play that tune. You have to pay attention when I'm playing everything with this gentleman. Something in Latin persuasion could become under Mars, or could be our Father and Soul is a Latin chord. Okay, this is a quiz. You know this song, but we're not going to play the melody till the end, like we just did on the last tune. But you all know this tune. Different meter, different tempo, but you know it. See if you can guess it before we get to the end and play the melody for you.
It's a Taylor Swift song.
So a little A flat?
Yeah.
So that's up front?
A little bit of A flat up front.
guys. So, anybody guess Body and Soul before we got to the end?
Yep.
Of course, you all knew what that was. Can we change the meter? Sure. We're jazz musicians, we can do whatever we like for this money. Actually, Eric pays us pretty well by jazz standards, so no complaints tonight. And I hope you will continue to support what he's doing here, because this is a wonderful venue, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe some of you all play here.
Definitely.
We're sure happy he had us back. Okay. Mike and I are doing a recording session in the South Bay on Monday with a good younger guitarist coming up on the scene named Jason Kaiser. He's a friend. We all actually record for the Origin label. And Jason's hired me for a few other projects, and for this one, he hired Mike and me. Eric Jacobson, who's a great East Bay trumpet player, and a great singer who used to live here, who's now in New York, Daniel Wirtz. So we're all going to convene on Monday in San Jose. And we're going to play music only from the great Canadian trumpet player Kenny Wheeler. And Mike, you probably met him and hung out with him, right? Did you know Kenny?
I never did.
Yeah, okay. So Mike's originally from Vancouver, BC, so Mike is Canadian. Is that a secret? Okay, sorry. I had the pleasure of meeting him once, but we know and like his music, and Mike and I play one or two of his songs already, so this recording project is going to be all the music of Kenny Wheeler, and we're not going to do this particular tune that we're about to play for you, but it's one that Mike suggested. We're going to play it for you now. It's called Smatter from Kenny Wheeler.
While John is tuning, it's funny because I thought that was tuned at the factory. Oh, okay. Good. Old joke. So yeah, the interest. This Smatter is off a great record that Kenny did, which a funny, cool little footnote was the last record that Keith Jarrett ever did as a sideman. He did it for Kenny, New High. And this is might be Kenny's best known tune. It's called Smatter, and we can do a slightly different take on it. But if you haven't heard the record, a record is a collection of songs that they put on one recording together back in the day. Now it's all on Spotify and iTunes and all that stuff. But gorgeous record called New High, and this is Smatter. So Kenny and Jarrett and Dave Holland and Jack DeJohnette, because they couldn't find anybody good, so they did it with that. This is Smatter by Kenny Wheeler.
Yeah, we could have more.
Thanks. It's a little bit tricky to play as a duo. That's our first time on that one. We'll revisit that another time.
Yeah, that's, and I realized I have never played that on the piano before, and I was partway through trying to play that melody going, what the hell am I doing? Trying to play this. Not a piano player, so anyway. But, where's my saxophone when I need it? Okay.
Mike is actually a pretty respectable accompanist on the piano, though, actually. Our second instrument, he does pretty well. Has anybody seen the Wayne Shorter documentary that came out recently called Zero Gravity? Cedric has. So Wayne Shorter left us at age 89 and had an unbelievable run. President.
So none of the rest of you have seen it yet?
Zero Gravity? We'd recommend it.
Great.
Yeah.
Lots of interviews with Wayne in his house, so you really get to kind of know Wayne the person, which is great. And little clips of all the different phases of his career. Art Blakey, Miles' great second quintet. Weather Report, his acoustic group, and lots of stuff in between. He did some symphonic and chamber jazz writing, so he had an incredible run. And here's a song that we both like that he recorded and wrote when he was with Miles in the 60s. It's a beautiful ballad called Fall. It's on ESP, right? I think it's on ESP. So Wayne had a great run of about 4 or 5 years with Miles and wrote a lot of the music on those records. So here's Fall from Wayne Shorter.
Just to get in and out of the piano situation.
Thanks a lot, guys. That's the melody you can sing after you've heard it once, right? Da, da, everybody can sing that now. And they should. It's a great melody. We're going to do a sort of a jam session song that's kind of fun. Toots Thielemans did an arrangement of this with Bill Evans in the early 80s. It's from the movie Days of Wine and Roses, a song of the same title.
Earlier than the early 80s they did.
Yeah, the movie is earlier, but the recording is from the 80s, I think, with Toots Thielemans. I could be wrong. Yeah, that was early 80s. No, but Bill died in the early 80s. We'll make it earlier. Anyone know? Just look on your phone, please. When did Bill Evans record with Toots Thielemans? Someone will have an answer for us. Yeah, Bill died in 81, so probably earlier. Anyhow, Toots Thielemans did an arrangement in 2 keys, so we're going to do that for you.
They released it early, but then they recorded it after.
That's right. The timeline's confusing because I've had a long day. Sorry. Okay, so here's Days of Wine and Roses in F and A flat, 16 bars each.
Beauty.
We got lucky on that last chord. We're going to do one more, take a short break. You guys are a great audience. Please stick around if you can. We're going to do some more music for you.
Or something real sweet. Yeah, let's do that.
How many people like Billy Strayhorn? All the hands should be going up now immediately. So here's some.
How many of you don't like Billy Strayhorn?
If you don't know him, you should check him out. He collaborated with Duke Ellington for 30 years and wrote a lot of great music. And so a lot of Duke's palette came from Billy Strayhorn. If you're interested, see me on the break. I'll tell you the story of his audition with Duke Ellington. It's pretty interesting. Mike's heard me say this story many times, so I'll spare him that. But if you see me on the break, I'll tell you the story. It's great. So he wrote something called the Far East Suite when the Duke Ellington band did a stage performance during the 50s. And part of that suite was a song called Isfahan. That's an important trade route city in Iran. It featured Johnny Hodges. You can see it on YouTube, too. Here's a little story. Johnny Hodges didn't read music, and most of the folks in Duke's band did not read. He wanted them for their sound and for their soloing abilities. So this is a TV show. Duke introduces the song, introduces Johnny Hodges. Johnny stands up to play the melody, and Duke Ellington stands 2 feet away from him, holding the music in front of him. And Johnny didn't read. And Duke stayed there for the whole song, holding the chart in front of Johnny Hodges. I think Duke wanted to be in the camera shot. No other reason for him to be there. But it's still great to watch. If you type in Isfahan, Duke Ellington, you'll see it on YouTube. It's pretty great. So here's a little arrangement in 2 keys, courtesy of Steve Gilmore, a great bassist who played with Phil Woods. This is Isfahan from Billy Strayhorn. Thank you very much, guys. That's Mike Zilber on the saxophone and piano.
John Stowell on the guitar.
Thank you, guys. Stick around if you can. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back. I do have some CDs left.
Oh, one quiz for the audience. We'll give a prize to the accurate winner coming back to the break. What is Canada's favorite Duke Ellington song? This is a fact. After the break.
Don't check your phone.
Okay, no Googling.
Thanks for coming, guys. We'll see you shortly.
That's your bid, not mine. Mateo, I love you.
I'll take full responsibility.
I think the secret is that we just never use
This is like a bad cider.
I took a sip of the margarita.
Oh, great.
It's slightly sweet, but it is.
Sweet. Supposed to be drank with a little bit of
We're gonna play a couple more tunes.
Thanks for sticking around, diehard jazz fans. We appreciate it. Mike and I, we're going to try a little experiment. I'm not sure if we've ever done this. Have we done this in public? Maybe we've started a song. So we're going to do something that is a free improvisation, meaning it won't cost you anything to listen. It means no structure. We're just going to start from nowhere and see where we go. It may eventually go into a tune.
Oh, by the way, did you ever, anybody know the answer to what is Canada's favorite Duke Ellington song? Nobody? Nobody knows? Okay. Take the train, eh?
Although Billy Strayhorn wrote that one.
Little known fact. Those are worth the wait.
That's what's called free jazz. Some people play only that kind of jazz. A little of it's okay, right? Could you hear some moments in there? Now we're going to play a song for you. We've driven people away. Oh dear. Thanks for coming, guys. We appreciate it.
It reminds me of one of my, this is a true story. So this, yeah, okay.
So this tuba player and this accordion player are doing this New Year's Eve gig at this fine, high-end Italian restaurant in New Jersey. Just the two of them. And so the gig goes really well. The audience loves it. The diners love it. The owner loves it. And at the end of the night, he comes up to me and says, "Guys, that was just fantastic. We really loved this. I have a question for you." And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Look, I know it's early, but are you by any chance booked next New Year's Eve?" And I said, "Well, hang on. We'll have to check our calendar." And so they check their calendar, and they look, and they go, "No, actually, we're free. We can do that." "Oh, I'm so fortunate. Thank you so much." And they said, "Great. We just have one question. Can we leave our instruments here until then?" Okay. Tuba and accordion, they don't work a lot together. So.
Here's a contrafact. Who knows what that is? It's not fake news. A contrafact is a song where the original melody's been taken away and replaced by a new melody. So guitarist John Scofield is someone we both know, who's a great guitarist, about my age, pretty old, still playing great. He and I grew up near each other in Connecticut, so I've known him for 50 years, although we don't see each other often. He's a great guy. So he took Wabash Cannonball, which is a country tune, and wrote a new melody, and he calls it Wabash 3. It's just basically 4 chords. Is it 4 chords? Yeah, it's 4 chords. You can sing the original melody and it does fit. Sing it softly though. So here's John Scofield's contrafact on Wabash Cannonball. This is called Wabash 3. We haven't played this in a while. We'll see what happens. Not perfect, but acceptable. Brush up on that melody a little bit. So Dizzy Gillespie was an important trumpet player that probably most of you know of. And he wrote a really pretty tune called Con Alma, probably the 1940s, I would guess. And Mike rearranged it and changed the meter, so Mike's contrafact is called Con Alma Mas. It's Dizzy's original melody with Mike's harmony. Yeah, but not with your harmony.
Okay.
This is a waltz, so there is a small space available for dancing. Stage left here if you're inclined.
And the rest of it, we just play the floor. Yeah, and then we do it at the end. Okay. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Thanks, guys. That was Mike Zilber's take on Caramba Mess.
You know, time for one more, or should we call it, Eric?
Oh, give us one more.
One more?
Same price, guys.
Actually, it's time and a half, folks.
Oh, man. We do Kai.
Here's another Kenny Wheeler song, which we may get around to recording on Monday. We'll see. This was one he wrote called Kayak. It's a palindrome. You know what that is? You guys are all smart.
Actually, the cool thing about it is it's actually a musical palindrome, too. So, like, it's not that important. All right. Just like do it up front for a bit.
Okay, all right. Tempo, where do you hear it?
Where do you feel comfortable?
Good. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Guys, thanks so much for coming. How about a hand for Mike Zilber, saxophone and piano, and compositions.
John Stowell on the choir.
I appreciate your coming, guys. Thanks very much. Eric, thank you so much for having us again. This is one of our favorite places to play, and please support Eric whenever you can. Hope to see you again, guys. Take care.
Thank you so much. So, you're recording on Monday?
We are.
One day? You recorded for a day? Yeah,
We got
and it's
jazz budgets.
what's the configuration?
It's pretty unusual. 2 guitars, trumpet, saxophone, and voice.
Cool. All right, watch for that release.
That's right.
How do they know
How do they know?
when it comes out?
Jason Kaiser will be on it. He's all over social media.
Okay, get all over social media. Thank you all so much for being here and for sticking
Thank
around. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for
Pleasure
having
every
us.
time out. It gets better every time out. I think they practice. I mean, they call it just working help. You know, it adds up to practice. I heard they rehearsed today. That's weird.